Hey, we are here with the Real Raw role play, and oh my, Vivian, do we have a day today? We got rock stars, we have people that are online influencers, mega TV salespeople, and creating magic in the world and everything. So I like every day, it's best-selling authors, people on TV, super phenomenal attorneys, and you know what? Just straight up amazing salespeople creating magic in the world. So Vivian, how are you?
I'm great. I'm just jazzed that we have such a well-rounded, exciting group of people today.
Yes, we do. And I think we have some beautiful examples of the feminine energy stepping into Zeusness as we have our first guest. And let's start there and take it away.
Oh, we have our beautiful Michelle Sorro. That's right. She's wearing the pink. She's somebody I love. An amazing soul on a mission to inspire millions to be seen and heard. She helps experts and entrepreneurs start and scale a high integrity impact online. She's the founder and CEO of Live Video Academy and TV retail host, co-founder of the Podcast Accelerator, host of the Fire and Soul podcast, a top 10 in self-development, graced with luminous guests like Jack Canfield, Panache Desai, Allison Armstrong, just to name a few. And she's hosted the Deal Drop on Extra, an award-winning entertainment show.
Michelle, welcome, and how are you?
Wow, I love that introduction. My goodness, Vivian, thank you for that. And the energy behind it was awesome. I couldn't be better, Sean. I'm honored to be here. So thank you for the opportunity to allow me to serve and learn and grow and all the good things that I get lit up by.
Yeah, and Michelle, you give me the opportunity today to learn from you. I've heard phenomenal things about you. Super excited for you being here. So thank you.
Wow, that touches me. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, and Vivian, we have another rock star.
Oh my God, Garrett Gunderson. He's a funny man, by the way. I saw him online. He's the founder and chief wealth architect of Wealth Factory. He's a lifelong entrepreneur, a keynote speaker, and a New York Times best-selling author of Killing Sacred Cows, Overcoming the Financial Myths That Are Destroying Your Property. He has dedicated his life to educate and serve hardworking, honest business owners. He now spends his time innovating new financial tools and technologies that help small business owners and entrepreneurs like you build lasting wealth, live the life you love, and pass on a lasting family legacy of your own. He believes your legacy is defined not just by money, but by the values and contributions you pass along.
Garrett, amen, and welcome, brother. How are you?
Good to be here. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I like the deep booming voice. It's like
Me too. Wow, Garrett.
Like Mount Olympus. There's like, yeah, this is like extraordinary. So Garrett, where are you calling in from today?
I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah today. So yeah,
And Michelle, you're in LA?
I am. Santa Monica specifically. It's gorgeous today.
Yeah. Well, welcome. And we have some very cool judges that you're going to be interacting with. Vivian?
Oh my God, we have a very lovely, beautiful lady hailing from London right now anyway, Nikki Sharp. She's a wellness expert, a social media influencer and blogger. Her mission is to spread the knowledge of healthy living of mind, body, and soul. Author of the 5-Day Real Food Detox, hit #4 on Amazon's bestseller list. Wow. And she has mobile app hit #1 in 6 countries in 24 hours.
Wow. Nikki, what's up? You are a rock star. It is an honor and privilege to reconnect again. Last time we saw each other was in Tahoe. We're hanging out in Las Vegas before that. And we just gotta stop meeting like this. How are you?
I know. I am doing amazing, and thank you. Everything is good here in London. I do have to say though, the book hit #1 on Amazon, not #4.
Whoa!
Oh baby, correction, mic drop. I have been served.
Drop the mic, Nikki stepping to her greatness. Thank you for that correction. We apologize, Nikki. That is phenomenal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So who else, Vivian?
Oh my God. We also have John Baker. Hi, John. Director of the athletic trainer at New Jersey Spine and Wellness. He's worked with various athletic trainers at local New Jersey high schools, Farley Dickinson University, Seton Hall University, and the United States Military Academy at West Point. Avid believer in self-myofascial release and has a variety of techniques in his arsenal.
John Baker, what's up, brother? How are you?
Howdy. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Since we are talking from a legal standpoint, I have to have a mic drop of my own. Legally, we are NJ Spinal Wellness. Just want to make sure that we're representing our company appropriately. But I'm thrilled to be here. I'm excited to help spread the good message of what we're doing in the unblinded community. and I look forward to picking a winner.
And John's a straight up maniac that has been at 2, 3, 4 a.m. making incredible things happen. I think last time we saw each other was at Tony Robbins Business Mastery. And yeah, you're extraordinary, John. It's a pleasure to see you again, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how about Vivian, last but certainly not least?
Well, obviously, Uni, meaning the one, unique, number one. Uni Yost, CEO and founder of Go Ask Jay, your evolving marketplace for insurance and financial services, keynote speaker, serial entrepreneur, and business and technology visionary.
Uni, how are you?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. I'm in Dallas, so we're enjoying the lovely weather here. So appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, a real pleasure to have you here. And are you ready to go, Uni?
I am. Actually, yesterday I did a presentation in Silicon Valley, so I am ready for today.
Right. Let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. So here we go. We have Michelle, we have Garrett. And before we even jump in, let's see, who is further away? Yes, our visiting team is Michelle, coming from Santa Monica. So we're not going to jump right in, but we toss a coin. And I have a 1 or a 2, Michelle, under the desk right now. Do you think it's a 1 or a 2?
2.
It is a 2. Michelle has won the toss. So here are the options, Michelle. You can go first in round 1, and then you retain your choice in round 2 to go first or second, or you can go second in round 1, and then you'll have Garrett have choice in the second round. What choose you?
Happy to go first. Why not?
Whoa. Okay. So here's what we're doing, Michelle. We are in round 1, establishing rapport, opening up the listening of Vivian. And by the way, like, what are we even doing in the Real Raw role play? What we do in the Real Raw role play is we stand for the premise that integrity-based influence is a superpower. It's what creates companies, builds missions, and when it's not deployed optimally, incredibly well-intentioned, beautiful, honest, incredible souls have their message die on their lips. So we're here to crush that. In addition, there's all kinds of folks that are operating outside of the integrity belt. I had the honor and privilege of being involved in 2 cases that we're told we couldn't possibly win. Guys are doing the wrong things on the other side. And I had the privilege of being one of 2 attorneys in America to have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts at 1.2 million attorneys between 2014 and 16, both in cases where the adversaries mockingly told us, you can't possibly win. And if there wasn't corruption, it was pretty darn close. In both of those cases with offers of 0 going into trial, we got 8-figure punitive damage awards, more than 25 million in each case for our clients in business breakup cases where our clients were defrauded and hurt. And so in this world, we stand for the premise of unlocking integrity-based human influence. And if you think it's about a courtroom, you're completely crazy, because everything is about influence in this world. We can't have anything occur, good or bad, without influence. That's what we stand for here on The Real Raw. So to demonstrate that, we have remarkable people like Michelle and Garrett and incredible judges that are here to demonstrate what they do and find ways that we can all learn from each other in unlocking that. And those that have the highest score at the end advance into the influence offs, should they choose to accept that mission, as we name in 2020 the Influencer of the Year. People like Jack Canfield, Ivan Meisner, founder of BNI, Les Brown, Brad Sugars, founder of Action Coach, have all been on the show already, including legends in legal, network marketing, entrepreneurship, and beyond. So that's what we're doing here. So in round 1, we go from hello, we are in the beginning of going from hello to yes, but no yes in the first round. It's segmented. We want to build rapport. We want to open up the listening of people and access some relevant pain. We cut the conversation in the middle at 3 minutes. If Vivi goes, hey, I got to take a phone call. We come back and complete in round 2 with these incredible participants, share who and what they are, and move towards a yes. And here's the coolest part. Michelle, starting out, will tell Vivian who Vivian is. It could be any yes in the world that Michelle and Garrett are seeking. Anything. Book deals, TV deal, singular client, launching a podcast, booking a podcast guest, whatever they want, whatever scenario. For fun, I usually say to the contestants, hey, you know what? Why don't you seek a guest that you're really interested in? Like, what's at play for you in the world right now? You don't have to accept that challenge, but if it is, put it out there, have some fun with it. So with that said, Michelle, any thoughts on who you would like Vivian to be?
First of all, awesome. Thank you for that introduction. I did not know those details of your success. You freaking rock. I would love Vivian to be Vivian. I actually know Vivian, and I would love Vivian to join my podcast accelerator program that starts May 27th of 2020.
Boom. And one more thing, Michelle, because we don't know each other. I've had the privilege and honor of doing a bunch of speaking on various stages, including Tony Robbins. I've spoken at the last 5 events and think the world of him, and had a lot of participation in accelerating some of the platinum sales, lion sales, and his business mastery program. So we have that going on as well. So I didn't know if you knew that segment, but I just share that because we don't.
I sure did. In fact, Mr. Sean, I actually met you at Date with Destiny in 2018 and shared a couple of moments. I know you've shared with many, but it was an honor to meet you. So yes, full circle.
And you know, of course, I am blind, so it is very difficult for me
Yes.
to who I meet. So thank you, Michelle, for sharing. And I know that you are a rock star in that space and across the world. So I'm deeply honored. Thank you. So Vivian's going to be Vivian. There's an amazing podcast accelerator because Michelle's rocking the world. Do you have any other questions, Michelle?
I do not.
All right. Vivian.
Well, one. Is everyone going to be muted so that Vivian and I can connect?
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Tiffany, that's the first time. I love that, Michelle. Let's have everybody else muted, Tiffany, and let's let Michelle drop in. Vivian, take us in.
Hi.
Hi, beautiful. I love the giggles, by the way, like we don't know each other, but still there's things that I want to learn about you, and I'm excited for this opportunity to connect with you, girlfriend.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, good or great? Because the yellow makes me think it's great. The red lips, the pink lips, the lashes, you got it all going on.
You know, I wanted to zhuzhify a little bit today, you know?
You know that you inspired me, so I'm not going to lie. Since COVID hit and we all been home, I have not even blown out my hair. This is the second time in almost 8 weeks. But because I know you always look so cute, I did my nails. Did you do your nails too?
You know what? I kind of didn't, but they're black, but they still look okay.
They look so good. This is such an opportunity for us to meet, and it's always a pleasure to connect with you at any point in real life, on Zoom, in trainings. But today, especially, has reminded me of when we really connected at Date with Destiny 2018. Do you remember that moment?
How could I forget? You're just so full of heart and love, and we were all crying and emotional and happy, and you just gave me the best hug on the planet, and you're beautiful.
You're beautiful. I remember Anthony too, your husband, whom I fell in love with like at hello.
Totally adores you. You have no idea.
Right. It's like a total love fest for me and your whole family. But I remember vividly us walking back to a part of the program, and we stopped halfway up to the front of the room. We were privileged enough to be at the front of the room for that event, and we had such a strong moment. How would you describe that moment in your words, if you can recall it?
Well, it's like transformational, right? You meet people on a path when you're already seeking something more profound. It was like the second event that I had ever gone to for Tony Robbins. So for me, it was beautiful to connect with people that feel and think the way that I do, and that want to grow, and that are so open and vulnerable. And that's such a difficult thing. Well, it has been a difficult thing for me to just open up to everyone. Even though I know I'm a big love bug, but I can do that with a few group of people, but to open it up to the world and put it out on TV and on the internet for the world to see, so when I saw you, that just was invisible. Oh my God, I have to take a call in about a minute, just so you know.
Okay, well, beautiful. And that vulnerability is what I remember the most. It's just like it opened my heart to you, and it felt like I was meeting a soul sister on the path. Is it okay if I speak to that version of yourself right now?
Yes.
Yes. Well, my love, as you've had time to reflect with COVID-19 and all this time home, what would you say is the most important thing to you, knowing all that about yourself, the vulnerability that is required, the courage that's required for you to get this outcome? If you could name one thing that you want right now, what is it?
I want everything to go away right now and go back to normal. So let's just put it out there. And I want everybody to be safe and happy and not sick. And I don't want to hear any more deaths. And I don't want some of my family members not to be hurting financially. And I would love to hug my mother right now.
And your mom's alive and healthy?
She is. She's in a home about 15 minutes away, and she's perfectly fine. I'm going to have to skip though, because we ran out of time right now.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing from your soul. I appreciate it. I look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you.
Michelle, awesome job. How did that feel for you?
Damn, 3 minutes went fast.
It sure does. But
I mean, I was not, I mean, I was, whoa, that happened so fast, but it was a beautiful opportunity to connect with her. And I was surprised at her answer and very moved by her answer of what's most important to her right now. So it really touched me.
yeah. So Michelle, we do this every day, right? And we break it down. You did a phenomenal job. Your level of congruence, your alignment of words, vocal qualities, body language, tonal shifts, pausing. We talk about 4 energy variances: fun, goddess, Zeus, and aspirational. You took Vivian to an aspirational place. There was deep goddess energy, presence, love, connection, flow, acknowledgement. There was some Zeusness though, because there was control in the conversation. So what I think you represent to me, Michelle, and hopefully to everybody out there, sometimes I think we get confused as we articulate it. Goddess energy is full of present, loving connection. Zeus is the energy of decision. Sometimes people get that confused between men and women and say like, oh, like goddess is women, Zeus is men. And what we profess is that everybody needs a complete balance of goddess and Zeus. If you look at Oprah Winfrey, Bruce Springsteen, Tony Robbins, Martin Luther King, anybody in the space of hello-DS influence that's created massive outcomes, these are all people that have extreme energy variance between goddess, Zeus, fun, and aspirational. Fantastic job, straight up. Acknowledgements were beautiful. You took her right back to that space. You told her what Oprah Winfrey says, which is, I see you, I hear you, what you say matters to me, which is why Oprah says she held the microphone for 30,000 people. And you told so straight up from your heart, Vivian, exactly that, taking her right back to Date with Destiny, which showed you remembered that moment from 2 years ago. I thought it was outstanding. I have a couple of quick accesses potentially, but I don't want to share that before the judges go. And so Michelle, seriously, great job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Vivian, what was present for you?
My God, that's like the best connection I've had so far. I was pulled, I was drawn, I was naked. I was feeling it.
Whoa, there's a lot happening right now. First time we went there, Vivian, on the real road.
Yeah, like, sort of.
Yeah, right, sort of.
Hey, you know, girls get a compliment. She goes, you know, she gets giddy.
Yeah, no, and Michelle certainly did such an outstanding job of that, dropping it. Yeah, so Nikki, what's present? What do you got? And the feedback, Nikki, is typically right along those lines of opening up accessing some relevant pain. And then it's really like give a couple of sentences, Nikki, on what was positive, a couple of sentences on a growth opportunity, and then a score.
Perfect. A score out of what?
A score out of 1 to 10. You know what, actually, we're going to pause though, right? So we're going to let Garrett go first.
Okay.
I was getting slightly ahead of myself, but that's what the scoring would look like. So the judges are now primed for the next round and they're listening. Garrett, are you ready to drop in?
What does that mean?
Are you ready to proceed, sir?
With who am I talking to?
You're talking to Vivian. And the question, Garrett, is this. Who would you like Vivian to be?
Vivian?
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
Vivian. And that's it. Just straight up, she's Vivian.
Yeah.
Awesome. So are you ready to go?
Sure.
Okay, Vivian, take us in. 3 minutes.
Well, hi.
Hey, Vivian, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Looking forward to our conversation. Looking forward to get to knowing you a little bit better. What do you think, like, with all this stuff going on, what's been the biggest change?
The freedom to go anywhere and everywhere and not worry about my safety or my health.
How's your health right now? How you feeling?
Tip-top shape, thank God. I wake up at 6 o'clock and work out for the last month every morning with a girlfriend, so I'm excited.
Nice. Like on video, or do you get to be in person because you've been quarantined together?
No, so I do it on video. I put Sean T on the screen. I flip this
Dude,
laptop.
Love Sean T, man. My favorite Sean T line is, that shit is bananas, yo. I remember I used to do Insanity all the time.
Insanity Max 30, T25. Love it.
That is awesome. Yeah, those are legit workouts. That's great to hear that you're doing those. So,
Well, we got to get rid of this like COVID gut situation. So, you know.
So tell me a little bit about your business. What do you do?
I have a show that I've been developing for a year that I have like 7 conversations, because I shouldn't say interviews. Michelle Marie Sorro's here. I can't say interviews, conversations, where I connect with people and they tell me their stories of perseverance, and they've come out on the other side and have a lot to share. And people who are watching will feel found and connected and will learn tools, because if they see themselves in that story, then they'll know that they can make it in whatever scenario they're in. So I feed them beautiful foods that celebrate their cultural backgrounds as they dish me their inspiring story. So my show is called Dishing It.
Awesome. So what phase is that in right now? How does that exist? Is it,
So
are there episodes?
I have about 6 episodes, and of course COVID came, so I don't have people in my home right now. I did a virtual cookout with a beautiful lady named Orly, and I'm editing that. So I edited one, I have that edited. I have the other ones edited, but I want to continue to work on those a little bit and tweak them. And so I'm thinking right now when to launch, where to launch, possible investors, and that's kind of where my head is right now.
So access to capital would be very helpful for you. Yeah, and I just gotta say, food.
By the way, I just have to tell you that in about a minute I have to go.
All right. Yeah, I come from an Italian family that food was love, right? You show up and they feed you, and one of the things I think about more than anything is I wish I would have asked my grandfather, who was my hero, even more questions, because I went and got my Italian citizenship, spent time over there, and so I see what you're doing, I love it, and that's phenomenal. So 6 interviews ready to go right now. And what's the next step?
Like I said, I'm trying to figure out where would be the right place to go ahead and go in. But I'm going to have to go now.
Cool.
Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Garrett. So, Garrett, what have you been doing for fun out in Utah during Corona?
Well, look, I got a cabin. And so it's on a river. So I've been doing a little bit of fishing, I got this podcast studio there where we've got all the good vices, everything as simple as coffee to smoking tobacco pipes or doing whiskey tastings. And, so go up there. I'm heading up there tonight. We've got ping pong, foosball, you name it. It's really nice that I can go there and kind of have things feel pretty normal. Awesome, man. And how far are you from, Deer Valley, Park City area? That place is 20 miles from Deer Valley.
Oh,
so
very cool. Very, very cool. And so thank you so much again for being here. And this is definitely a unique and new format. And thank you for jumping in and participating.
Yeah. I don't role play. I'm used to just talking really with people who are looking for our services. So it's a unique experience.
Yes, that is definitely what a unique spot that people have been put in. So thank you so much for doing that. So let's jump in with, let's start with Nikki Sharp. So Nikki, let's start with Michelle. And what do you have for some of the positives, some growth opportunities, and a score?
Perfect. Okay. So Michelle, I loved your energy, and obviously you guys had a connection prior to this, so that was easier to jump in. One thing that I loved was you tapped into that connection of really starting to ask Vivian, how did you feel when we were together at Date with Destiny, and bringing her back to that moment. And I think that that's such an essential piece of human connection, is getting them to remember an emotion based on where they were. So it's not just, oh, I was there. It's how did I feel when I was with you? So I really loved that. I loved obviously the compliment of the nail polish, and, as all girls, especially now, we're all suffering tremendously with it. So I did appreciate that. And I see the girls laughing. So one thing that, and actually both people did this, was, the question, how are you? To me is such a blasé question, because people are, of course, going to say, yeah, I'm good. And it doesn't really allow much to open. You have to keep searching. So I think, and obviously you were on the spot going first, but it's maybe jumping in a little bit more like, how are you actually doing during COVID? Right. And just going there immediately, because when you ask someone, like when anyone asks me, like, how are you? Yeah, good. I don't know you. I'm not going to tell you that I'm not doing good. Right. So I would say that, I really did love what the connection that you guys had. And I would say score of 1 to 10 on just like emotional connection, I'd probably put that as a 9. I think that the kind of girly connection maybe overly got a little bit too long, instead of maybe cutting in and saying, like, what are you actually going through right now, which you did at the very end. And I wish that had been longer.
Awesome. Thank you. And for Garrett? Nikki?
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
realized. Yeah. Tell me. So with Garrett, yeah. And I love Garrett at the very end of it, after the 3 minutes was done, that you said, you know, this is totally new to you. So I can appreciate that there was a little bit of hesitancy. Again, you also did the "How are you?" which is a very awkward question to lead with. I did love that you jumped in and started asking about the business and some of the pain points and getting to know a little bit more. And anytime that you can ask someone about their core business and their passion, I think you're off the bat a winner. So Garrett, I would give you a 7.5 out of that round.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. And Uni, what do you got? Uni, you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Out of mute. I thought Michelle and Vivian had a fantastic connection, and I think Nikki was right that having a previous connection or relationship makes it easier to continue the conversation versus you just met and try to pull information out, I think, like Garrett had to do. So I thought that was fantastic. As women, you know, that's how we roll. We have to have that kind of personal relationship in order to do business anyway. So I love that. So I think that's a top winner on that. And then, you know, regarding the business part of it, I think it's, you know, it probably should kind of segment sometime in the middle of it and ask, hey, you know, so by the way, I know, you know, we're just catching up on personal stuff. How is your business doing? You know, stuff like that. So that might also play into making both of the conversation flow. And so I'm still going to say you guys get a 10. And then with Garrett, I mean, it is hard. I mean, especially for men to ask, you know, personal questions of someone you just met or you just, you know, don't have a relationship previously. It is hard because we women would tend to get defensive. It's like, why is this guy asking me so many personal questions, you know, and stuff like that. So I think that also, you know, makes it a little bit harder for you as a man. But, you know, overall, I think you made a good segue. I mean, I'm not very good in role play either. I'm more straightforward. So kudos to you. So I'm going to give you an 8. That was a tough one.
Awesome. Hey, Uni, just a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
Again, you are physically where?
I am in Dallas.
Right, Dallas. And where are you from originally?
My family actually is from Korea. So I am Korean.
Wow, amazing. And what brought you to the US?
Well, I came when I was 9, so I think that was more like, you know, I was a baggage. I was a luggage that came with it.
And where did you grow up?
Actually, I grew up, you know, everywhere in the U.S. I mean, I lived in Texas the longest. It's been about 30 years. So I have all my, you know, friends from middle school, high school, college. I have not left Texas in 30 years.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a long time. But, you know, Texas is its own country. So, you know, no need to leave.
So I'm hearing deep roots, deep connections there. Hey, let me, quick question.
Yeah, sure.
How did you get into the space of helping people?
Actually, it started when I was young. I wanted to be a doctor. I thought, you know, I've always wanted to, you know, save the world, and then decided, you know, I think it was my 3rd year in college. It's like, oh no, I have 10 more years of this. So I decided, okay, what's the next best thing? Oh, you know, finance. So went into accounting and then went into IT. So I've been in IT over 15 years. And then, you know, gave me an opportunity to really touch on different industries and verticals. And so it made it so much easier to segue into insurance, and now bringing the technology of digitization of, you know, I'm going to say AI and blockchain and everything else into insurance, and how we're able to bring the complexity of insurance and finance and make it simpler for people to understand. It is too complex. Good God, I mean, nobody ever go, you know, tomorrow for fun, I'm going to go and do a lot of insurance quotes.
So if you get, like, I hear the mission and the vision, you have it all your way. Everything goes the way you want it to. Where does this end for you, Uni, and for the world?
Actually, one of the number one reasons that I've, really segue into this market to grow exponentially is that I've always wanted to work on foundation. And the way I look at it is I am not a very good at asking people for money or help when it comes to that. So, I'd rather make the money and then we can go and save the world and do all the things that really impacts people. So
And
simplicity.
What kind of foundational work do you want to do?
Really for women, when it comes to a lot of, when it comes to money management, because in reality, globally, women still do not hold that much control in wealth. And then at the same time, factor of money really limits women in terms of their rights and their control in relationships. So women, children, everything else.
Yeah. I'm hearing deep resonance with equality, equity, supporting women in a huge way, and building that mission right now. What would you say is the biggest challenges that you have?
That actually is not enough women leading. I mean, even for myself, I was presenting at Silicon Valley yesterday. I was the only woman. You have people coming from globally presenting and pitching, and very limited women in any segment. When I was in IT as well. So we need a lot more women leading rather than just following. When it comes to being an entrepreneur and being innovative, you have to get out there and push yourself, your limit.
So Uni, I want to acknowledge you for coming on here, spreading your message to women, to unite them, to fight for equality, to fight for a voice, and to lead and seek out other leaders. So thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity to have me so I can, give my little 2 cents here.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay. Do you still think that men can't ask questions that women will share the deepest cries of their heart?
Maybe when they're dating, but from a business, it's a little bit different because
Wait.
Oh no.
Were we just talking about business? Or were we talking about now be honest now, we're the real raw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we talking about the cries of your heart?
I think when you ask the question, I think it depends on the venue that you're at, right? If you're walking
I asked you what we just
I think, it allows.
Were you lying to me about the cries of your heart, that you think women have been mistreated, unseen, not heard, haven't stepped up to lead one another? Those are pretty intense thoughts and feelings, aren't they?
It really is. Yeah. And I appreciate you asking me that. And I think it's just.
But do you know why you shared it with me?
I think it's because I've already built some kind of rapport with you in advance a little bit. So I have heard about you. Yeah.
Okay. But if I met you on the street corner, 5 minutes waiting for a bus, you would have told me the exact same thing. And here's why.
Okay.
Level 5 transformational listening is rooted not only in hearing what people are saying, it's why they're saying it. So here's what I'm going to speculate.
Okay.
You've not only seen, but you've encountered injustice in the world. And you've seen men do things that are wrong. Is that fair?
Yeah, very fair.
Okay, Nikki, do you hear the depth of Uni's cry of her heart right now?
100%. Yeah.
Right. And the reason that's there is because I'm listening to Uni. So human influence is based on this: having access to the depth of somebody's cry from their heart, and like positive and negative, and having integrity, because this could be used for like great harm and manipulation. But rule number 1 of integrity-based human influence is that we genuinely love people. So I love the fact that your message was heard today, because you're giving your time. So if that's the cry of your heart, you have some powerful, incredible women here that you just spoke to. Loads of people are going to hear this in replay and live. So that's an amazing access point. So we want to give that to people. And that's exactly, again, what Oprah has said. So once you at step one have established rapport with integrity to truly listen and not say, oh, Uni, that's really cool. You're leading women. Like, okay, so let me get to what I'm telling you, right? That's where integrity breaks down.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
It's more present to it. And now I think there's all kinds of things, Uni, that I could do to support that mission. And then Unblinded could do to support that mission. So I look at it as my moral responsibility. I'm sure Michelle sees it's her moral responsibility to accelerate your podcast, to accelerate your work. I'm sure Garrett sees it as his moral responsibility to ethically save people from all the things they don't understand about the world of finances and money and how they're getting ripped off, destroyed, and hurt left and right because they are in ignorance, potentially dealing with people trying to harm them or just other people in ignorance. Mm-hmm. Garrett, is that true in who you are in the world?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what an influence is about, and this whole place stands for. And by the way, what's been created so far, the energetic shifts that have occurred, is we've gotten real. Mm-hmm. We created scotoma. And before we were like on a show. It was like fun. It was like kind of American Idol. What are we doing? Now, Garrett heard me hear him. Michelle's heard me hear him. Uni, you've heard me hear you. Mm-hmm. So now we're really communicating, right? We're below a surface level of rapport. We're below an emotional, real level of rapport. We're down to an emotional level of rapport. And now we're talking honestly and for real. Do you feel the energetic shift amongst us, Uni?
I do, actually. I mean, I wasn't really sure about the invite because I didn't know what to expect. So I was really open to it. So I think that also helps so much. And it gives me the different levels of a relationship that I'm building together here.
Yeah, and because in teaching influence, what I believe is so many people have their vision and mission. Good people feel like influencing people is something you have to do to manipulate and harm and take. I thought that once. I was going blind. I was broke, $100,000 in debt coming out of law school, and I didn't want to sell anything because I thought it's harmful. Then I realized when I walked to my first client that he had a huge law firm he's paying a fortune to, and I realized he would be way better off in my hands. I had to convince this guy who had a line in his backyard, like mega sports car. I was broke, rolling up in a $199 suit, that I had to convince him at 27 years old that he was in better hands with me. Because I had studied human influence, starting with Tony Robbins, through many other incredible people, he said yes to me. He was right, because he fired his lawyer, and 1 month later, 30 days later, I delivered $3 million from his house when he was getting sued for $2 million. And his lawyer was just hoping to not pay. We got him $3 million. That's what integrity-based human influence is all about. So, final. Thank you, Uni. John Baker, what do you got? Scores?
All right. So they both did a phenomenal job, I think, and they took different routes to get at the destination. So I just took some notes here, right? So Michelle, you did a phenomenal job at connecting with her as a person, right? And I love that you asked permission to speak to the soul sister side of her, right? Because she easily could say no, right? But the fact that you're like, hey, is it okay if I speak to that side of you? By asking for that kind of permission, you are, gently getting access, and you're not trying to rush that conversation. If you had, I think, 20 minutes, you would have had phenomenal rapport and probably a new best friend out of the deal, right? So, and the emotional transformation that you were able to display when you kind of stopped everything you were saying to say, like, wait, is your mom healthy and okay? Is she still with us? Like that, you guys were talking, but I felt, I'm like, oh, she really is concerned about her. So phenomenal job with that. Garrett, in terms of what you were able to accomplish in your conversation, you got the targeted info. You got her to open up about her business. You got her to open up about, the problems that she's dealing with. So you on the back end can retrofit a solution. So I think you both did great jobs with different things in terms of opportunities to improve. Garrett, your transition after the Sean T segment, you're like, okay, so how's business? Like that would have been a phenomenal opportunity if you said, so you're getting up, you're working out, you're, staying active with your friend in the morning, and you have this new sense of vibrance. How has that impacted your business, right? So by taking that natural segue, it could have helped make things a little bit more smoother. And Michelle, in terms of, at the beginning, you were praising her like, oh, I wore the shirt, I was trying to impress you. You have to be careful with that. If you do a little too much, someone's like, okay, what are they trying to sell me? It actually, if it goes on too long, it may put someone's guard up. So you guys are both very close. I would have to say, Garrett, I'm going to give you an 8 on this one because you did get, some important information out in a short amount of time. But Michelle, because of that bond that you created with her, I'm going to say that you were at an 8.5. But otherwise, very good job.
Awesome. So here we go into round 2. So Michelle, you did a drop the mic job. The one access point I was going to share last round, I didn't want to say it before the judges, is when you said, is there one thing right now that you want to be working on? I think you are an artist of transformation. And so I just suggested, I might take Vivian, the question with Vivian, to an even higher aspirational level, because you're here to change your life. That's who Michelle is. Like, I get that. It explodes off the screen, right? So I might take her, hey, if you have it all your way, like ultimately where are you going with all this? And then a follow-up would be, hey, so what are some of the challenges? And right then and there, without a doubt, is going to be all of the ways in round 2 you're going to be able to support her, because that's just like what you do. Does that sound reasonable or no?
Totally. And if I had 1 extra minute, we would have gone there.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so
but I also fully own that I spent too much time building the rapport in the beginning. So if I just would have, gotten in there a little sooner, I could have gotten there. So totally get it.
Yeah, listen, this is awesome. And this is what it's all about. Michelle, I share this. This is so fun getting to know you guys in this space. When I came off of, it might've been a Date with Destiny, by the way, in 2018. I don't remember if that's where I was up with on Tony's stage the first time or it was after that. But when I got done, people said, hey, you did a great job and very nice comments. And then Matt Johnston walked up to me and he said, how'd you think you did? I said, yeah, I think things went pretty well. He goes, how do you think you really did? I said, I had so much more. He goes, why'd you hide? I said, because I didn't know if it was my place. And he said, so here's the work we're going to do together. We're going to make sure you never ask yourself again, is it my place? And the next time I went up, I literally, before I went up, I talked to the powers that be. I said, listen, please don't introduce me as a non-professional speaker, just come to do a testimonial. Can I redesign this and do it my way? They said yes. I engaged the crowd. I did a whole bunch of different things, broke the records of platinum sales that day. So one of the key things that demonstrated to me, and Matt Johnston gave me the gift, is these micro access points that we can all engage in could be the difference between X and 100X. And so this show stands for, in love, how we all learn from each other. I'm going to tell you this. I learned from you today already. I learned from Garrett today already. And so nobody thinks I'm making it up. I'll say what it is at the end. You guys have been extraordinary, and this is what it's all about. So thank you again for being here.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for your share too.
Yeah, thank you. So you ready for, it's actually, you chose first, so you get to choose in round 2. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first again. Why not?
Yeah, cool. So now it's just being you, stepping into your greatness, the greatness of your offering, and working through any objections and to get to a yes, and you have 3 minutes. Sound good?
Sounds good. Are we going to mute everyone again except Viv?
Yes, let's do that
Okay.
again. Tiffany and Tiffany, as soon as Michelle and Vivian are done, just unmute everybody together. Okay, Tiff? Here we go. So take us in, Vivian.
Okay. Oh, hi. How are you?
Good, girlfriend. I was so touched by your share earlier. And when you talked about, wanting to hug your mom, I feel the exact same way about my mom. It just shows me even more we got, just the soul sister thing going. But I also wanted to circle back to a big dream on your heart, which surprised me that you didn't say, because I know you've got this TV show that's like lighting you up and you want to get into production. Is that still a yes?
Yes.
Yes. And I also know you have some obstacles, right? In fact, I even just heard you mention it to Garrett, and I know you and I have had these conversations, obstacles around when to launch, where to launch. Are you going to need investors? I've heard you talk about the logistics and the time frame and coordinating guests and all the things. Is that still just like the list of the pretty much the main objections?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. So would it be okay for me to share with you a personal story and then a possible opportunity for you to overcome every single one of those obstacles that are in your way right now of getting this show out to the world?
Please.
Okay, girlfriend. So we met at Date with Destiny. That was my second time there. First time I went was in December of 2017. I had one goal in mind. It was like, Tony Robbins, help me take my little 1-minute TV retail segment on Extra and help me turn that into a full-time television correspondent role. That's all I wanted. And by day 4 of that event, I actually dropped to my knees. And I was completely cracked wide open, fully opened up to my soul's calling, knowing that I was made for so much more. And it had nothing to do with being a television host. That, as it turns out, was a dream from a 5-year-old little girl that was looking for significance and knowing that I needed to matter. And that was going to be the way in which I thought I could make my imprint on the world. No shame on some of the amazing television hosts that are out there like yourself and some of my dearest friends, our mutual friend, Tanika Ray. But what came to me as I was literally on my knees and Sia's song Chandelier was playing throughout the arena in West Palm Beach, and I just got tears streaming down my face. It was like, if I'm made for more, then what is it? Help me, because I don't know what it is, you know? And I got a little idea of start a podcast. And I had all the limiting beliefs of you're not good enough, you're no Oprah, who do you think you are? Can you relate to some of these limiting beliefs, right? We compare our beginning to someone else's middle.
I do, but I'm going to have to go in about a minute, just so you know, but I'm really listening.
Oh, thank you for listening. I appreciate that so much, because what I want to share with you, girlfriend, is that the antidote to those imposter syndrome limiting beliefs is action. So I launched a podcast and it became a top 10 in self-development. I've had some of my biggest mentors on, Joseph McClendon, you know, Jack Canfield, Allison Armstrong, you name it. And it's been the single most effective leverage for my life and my business. And so what I want to share with you that could remove all the obstacles from you getting your show on TV is I want to let you know about the Podcast Accelerator program. It's my own program with my podcast producer, my longtime producer, Jenny of Jenny Media. And we take you from concept to launch within 8 weeks. You have your very own show. And did you know that food and cooking podcasts are some of the top ranked podcasts in the podverse? And I'd love to take you through that process. It's so phenomenal. And all the obstacles are gone. You can do it in the comfort of your own home, right where you're sitting right now. So what I'm going to do, my love, is actually put the link right over there in the chat. I'd love for you to click on that, get more information, and see people like Joseph McClendon, former NFL players, and people just like me and you that know we are made for more, know we are supposed to be seen and be heard and touch lives. And it can be as simple as getting on a microphone in the comfort of your own home and going for it and not letting anything be in your way from this moment on. Can I get a yes from you that you're interested in more of this conversation?
Yes.
Woo! All right, well, listen, so click on that link and get more information, cruise through it, and if you have any questions, I'll hop on the phone with you. We can do a 15-minute free call. We start May 27 within 8 weeks. No more waiting, no more wondering when and where you're going to launch, no need for an investor. You can literally have your show become one of the most popular and listened to shows right now, because podcasts are on the rise. And your time is now, my friend. So I'm so grateful that you said yes, and I look forward to having that conversation as soon as today. Can I call you later this afternoon?
Okay. I have
Beautiful.
to go.
Okay. Love you, girl.
Michelle dropping the mic. Beautiful job. Your rhythm, your congruence, your energetic transference. Absolutely.
I feel like I need to go dance. I need to shake my body out. That was crazy. I don't normally do that kind of shit, but okay, fine.
I felt like what's his name? Tom Cruise, when he was on stage in that movie, you know, preaching and
Michelle's like, all right, here I come. You know,
do it.
So Vivian, what's present for you?
Oh my God. I don't think there could have been anything but a no. You know, I was driven by her energy. It's like, oh my God, that sounds riveting. I have to go. I have to try. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
Great rhythm. So Michelle, what's present for you, Michelle?
What's present for me is I've never packed so much freaking information in 3 minutes in my life before. So, and then I was starting to panic because I realized I really wanted to connect with her about her mom and about her dream. And then I was like, wait, no, hold on. You just learned your lesson. Get out of there. Get right to, your Zeus energy while employing, the goddess energy and all that beautiful, warm fire. I felt confident I was going to get a yes. I truly believe in my soul. This is Vivian's answer for right now. I wholeheartedly am on this mission to help everyone get out of their own way and think that they need to have something be so big and fancily produced when it can be wildly effective, and you can be the owner of your own universe by having a podcast. I've seen the impact that it's made for thousands of lives, and we're the only program that takes you there from concept to launch, literally the only one out there in the entire market. So this is how I want to help Vivian and anyone else listening, and get you guys enrolled in our class that starts May 27th.
That is awesome, Michelle. So, and we will talk more about that. I have a couple of thoughts to.
Awesome. Thank you.
So thank you, Michelle. Fantastic. Yeah, Garrett, how are you, sir?
Great.
All right. So Garrett, you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Sure. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
So Vivian, drop on in. Here comes Garrett.
Hey, Vivian. Before this this show that you're putting together, did you have a business before, or tell me a little bit about what was going on there?
I was traveling for the auto shows for about 2 years. So I was working with Infinity and GMC. Before that, I had been an actress, and I had worked on a TV show called Moral Court with Larry Elder. And I was actually trained by Harvey Levin from TMZ as the court reporter for that show. Did a cameo on 24. And
Nice.
I was on Days of Our Lives. I was a diva. So a lot of fun stuff, you know, that I've done in my career, in addition to all the other stuff that you do in between. Like bartending, like, you know, doing makeup for Benefit Cosmetics, like, you name it, you did it.
What's the one thing that could help you get this launched? What's the number one thing that would get you to where you want to go?
I need to sit down and figure out where I'm going to do it. I mean, I've heard many options, and including new options that have been brought to my awareness recently about what I could be doing to launch my show. So what are you thinking about? What are you suggesting?
Well, I'm just, you know, you said you were potentially wanting to raise funds. So I'm just wondering, like, if you had $250,000 today, what would you do with that?
Well, I'd immediately get my team together and start filming. And I have a few people already that I have on my list to interview. And then it would be about speaking to people that will help me launch it.
You have a list already.
I have a list of more. I have more people, yes, on my list.
What if you didn't need to raise a single dollar, because all of the people that already know and love you and all the work that you've already done up until this point, you can actually not have to owe a single cent or have to borrow any money or give up any equity or anything, because the very people that already know you could be the very people that fund this entire thing.
That sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Well, I mean, almost everything that we ever buy in this world, we pay for it before it exists. Whether all the tickets are pre-sold to the Super Bowl, or whether France gives the United States a Statue of Liberty, they don't give them a platform to put it up on. And there's all the people that want to be early adopters, that want to be part of what you do, that what if their interest was, your success was their success, so they could be part of that process all along, where you could do something I call win, then play. So it's not about scrambling, hustling, and getting everything. It's putting out a version with those people being everything from, you know, founding members or whatever you want to call it, crowdsourcing this so that you can launch this now and owe nothing to anyone, because the people wanted to support it and have it succeed from the beginning. I'm there. I pre-sold 22,000 copies of my book, Killing Sacred Cows, before I wrote it, because I could create bonuses and I could create these people that were advocates. And so I know that's already with you, because you have something called relationship capital and mental capital. Your mental capital is everything you've already known and learned that allows you to produce this. The relationship capital are already your fans and friends and people that want to see this succeed. And so it's not financial capital that's standing in the way. It's a formula I call the value equation that allows you to profit up front through pre-selling, and then allows it to take it all the way you want to go without delay.
Amazing.
So, all right. We could.
I'm loving what you're saying, baby. I know that much.
Garrett Gunderson dropping the mic. Garrett, that was phenomenal, brother. How'd that feel?
You know, this feels really awkward because I don't like role playing. So that felt better than the first part, because I was actually giving her advice that pertained to her, versus building rapport, saying, well, this isn't what I would normally be talking about, because I've never had a conversation. I wasn't introduced to the person first. that knew my services. So that was a really awkward entry for me, where this was a lot easier because I felt like I had the introduction, even though I had to do it, because my formula of selling is relationship capital, being referred, so someone's already ready to listen and you can go a lot deeper. Having a cold entry is not what we are. We have a marketing team that does that. So that's how, so I felt like I actually am talking to you, Vivian, that there is a formula that you could apply and have profit from right up front. And that the worst thing that you could do would be raising funds, because that takes time. It requires a lot of other people's voices, and you're going to get feedback from the very people that actually pre-buy what you have to do. So anyway, yeah, that's me being really candid.
Yeah. So can I share a couple things real quick, Garrett?
Sure.
Yeah. So number one, I think Vivian needs what you said. So it was outstanding, obviously, brilliant. I was Statue of Liberty, winning before you start, like just all your remarkable messaging. The drop the mic, phenomenal. Like you got in your rhythm, crushing it, delivering. Vivian, how excited would you be to learn how to do what Garrett just said?
I was excited, period. Everything that he was saying was speaking to me.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that I would have candid questions about is, Garrett, in your world, in your life, is there any space that you are not yet? And you don't have to answer, just yes or no. I'm not going to ask what it is. Is there any space in the world that you want to be in that you're not in yet? Or you have every single thing that you want currently?
Yeah, that's absolutely not. I mean, there's things that are still, yeah.
So the only thing with love and total respect is, dude, you're a rock star, right? I would say is there's going to be those moments when it's the same thing for me, when our marketing teams, our people, our personnel, they can't get us any higher, right? And I had conversations this past week where I have to go from hello to yes with people that can create the next level breakthrough that nobody else on the team could talk to but me. And they don't want to talk to anybody. They ain't talking to anybody. And I got to have the conversation, and I got to open that up and go from hello to yes. So that's the space that we're playing. I totally get it, that you have built an unbelievable rock star world where when somebody gets to talk to you, it's an honor and a privilege that they're talking to you. And I mean that truly. And that's exactly the way it should be, because you're a genius, right? So, but there's those spots, and this is an access point for all of us, when there's just nobody else. It's got to be us. And somebody could have like mutually arranged the call, and then we got to have the call. So in that space, I believe we're going to encounter those moments where we have to open up the listening. I just talked to, I know you're buddies with Jared, and this is us talking as people trying to, grow and impact the world. I talked to one of the largest corporations in the world yesterday, and I'm not gonna say which, and I was talking to people who had no idea who I was, what I did, and could care less about any of the stories I was telling. And I needed to create a pattern interrupt to open their listening and make what I've done, which to them is nothing and irrelevant, relevant to them. And the dynamics and the things we experiment with here, are those things. So I'd love to continue the conversation just as friends, with Jared, mutually in common, because what you're doing in the world is incredible. And I was super impressed. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And, I made a big pivot from what my intent was in the beginning, because what I'm giving Vivian, I'm just going to gift it to her, is legitimately formula that we've recently developed that we never give on the front end, or that we don't even sell. It's for people that are engaged. But normally I'm helping people get their finances in order. I skip past that by listening and saying, this is what she really needs that would be useful. Yeah,
dude. And it's super impressive, and totally. So fantastic job. And thank you for doing it. And that, what we just all did is what the show is about. It's not just like, American Idol where people come and sing and go home. It's talking about all these issues with incredibly brilliant, talented people, and actually helping each other and opening accesses. So truly, thank you, Garrett.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. So, hey, let's just jump in real quick. And I know we ran a little bit long. Thank you for everybody. But Nikki, let's kick it off again with you. And, what do you have and what's happening?
Sure. Okay. Super excited about this round. I'll go into what I thought you both did really well. Michelle, I loved that towards the end, the fire, the passion came out, and girl, you got me, because I'm in the same place. I've had a top 30 iTunes top 30 podcast with a co-host, and I'm branching out to do my own now. And I'm like, okay, just got to do it. And I already know all the steps, but it's always having a guide and someone to help you. And so, you know, your passion and really sharing how you can help, Vivian, was very impactful. And then Garrett, so what I loved was as well, you got super passionate about it. And I loved hearing more about the crowdsourcing factor, because so few people talk about that. And it's like, I wish that had come out almost sooner, of like, this is what it is. This is how it can help you, because like everyone needs it. I agree. And like, you're sitting on a gold gem that can help so many people. So, I mean, you both rocked my socks, and I just put in the personal notes. I want to know more from both of you. So, okay. Michelle, what I did, you know, I appreciated that you wanted, like, you got permission to share a story, but then the story 2 minutes became about you. And I know exactly where you were going and leading into it. It felt like it was like, I heard I and me so many times in that it kind of took me away from what you were trying to share with Vivian. And then I also saw Vivian at points like shaking her head trying to say, but because, you know, you have 3 minutes, you were trying to get it in, it didn't allow, like, you didn't allow to hear what she was saying. And I know that was a time constraint. So I just, for that, I wish that it had been a little bit shorter of a story, or like, you know, 30 seconds of it, and then just jumping straight into how that could have helped Vivian. But like, overall, loved it. And then Garrett, let's see. So you let her talk for a little bit too long in the beginning. So it, like, instead of jumping in, she kind of like started saying like bartending and this and like other things that were irrelevant, where I feel like you should have, or I wish you had have kind of like just jumped. Yeah.
I appreciate the feedback, but I don't even know who she is.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's
so
only.
She don't know who she is and what she does. I literally don't know what to offer her if she doesn't tell me. I was going a totally different direction. So I appreciate the feedback, but I don't know. That's really tough for me to offer something where I even know what the situation is.
I totally hear you. And I heard that you said that you transitioned what you were going to offer. So I also appreciate that you were listening to be able to shift that. And I think that's why the round one is so, like, you did so well in round one to learn about the business, that it should have just been a little bit more tight, but like overall did great. And the passion came like, and that was, I wish at the end of it where like everyone here on it was like, yeah, I want to know more. I wish you had said, do I have a yes to talk to you later? Or, you know, instead of, you know, like, do you have
living in pretend world versus real world? I don't have anything to offer her to buy right now because it's not on a platform to be sold in this format. So I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback. It's just, to be honest, I hate role play. This is really the most uncomfortable thing I've done in a year, and I'm not really happy about it. You know, like, it's just, how do you fake it? Like, I can't fake it. Yeah, it's really tough.
I hear you on that. And I still have to say you're doing an amazing job. And, you know, as Sean said,
you're very nice and very kind.
But like, we all get a chance to learn and grow in every, like, if it makes you uncomfortable, it means you must do it. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So those are my notes. Am I supposed to, I guess, give Vivian, should I give a rating?
Score, I guess.
Okay. So I'm going to give Michelle, I'm going to give you I mean, God, I feel like I'm giving everyone so high. I'm going to give you a 9. And honestly, I'm equally going to, Garrett, I'm going to give you a 9 as well on this one.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. Uni?
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to start with Michelle again. And I loved your story. I was going to jump in and go, take me. But I love how you're engaging with Vivian. I know that you were trying to really emphasize, your personal, your history and your experience that she could relate to. And so you are really on fire. I mean, you are just really on fire. And I think, Vivian, I could tell she's a little bit like, oh, it just a little too much info for her. But at the end, I think she bought into it. So I think that relationship, that personalness, that, you brought your history and made it relatable for her, that really, got her to buy in. So I thought you did fantastic. And Garrett, I loved how you did the transaction in terms of from, okay, get to know her, but then you moved on to becoming more like a mentor advisor. And that's what relationship is. I mean, in sales is about that, and from that guidance that they really buy into that caring person that you are. And that's how businesses run. It's not always transactional, right? Especially the type of business that you're in, it's a long term. It's okay if you go to 7-Eleven and buy a candy bar and you walk out, you might not go to 7-Eleven next time, but that's different. But for what you do and what Michelle, is that long-term relationship that you're building. And I thought you did fantastic. And because of that advisor mentor role that, brought Michelle into saying, you're right. I may not need the money, tell me another way, right? So I'm going to give both of you guys, it's a hard one to do. So I'm going to give both of you guys 10s because you both took on a different roadmap to get where you wanted to go, and fantastic.
Thank you, Woody. That is awesome. It is so interesting watching each day how everybody relates to one another and things that happen. We had Michael Lovich on yesterday, who had arguably the #1 life insurance salesperson in America and was giving him like 3s and 4s. So it was a crazy day.
He feels responsible to point out problems. That's Lovich's MO. Moral obligation for him.
Garrett, it was you have to, like, I don't have to do anything, but if you get a chance, watch it. It was amazing. Like, the one gentleman was Ron Klein, who invented the magnetic strip on the credit card. He created the New York Stock Exchange distinction that took it from 100 million units to 20 billion. And he invented the MLS, literally the real estate MLS. Wow. And it was Mike Crouppen, whose clients have included Michael Jackson, Ozzy Osbourne, Madonna, Albert Pujols, like completely like family offices, like crazy, right? And I mean, Michael was like blowing everybody up. It was unbelievable. So it was super interesting. So
10 seconds. Michael Lovich and I get on the phone for the first time. 15 minutes in, he goes, "Hey, can I just stop you right there? I'm really surprised I like you this much. I just expected you to be a total douchebag." And that's just what he said.
So, and he said, so we had this Unblinded Business Accelerator coming up. He's like, "Sean, I really like you and I'm enjoying it." He goes, "Jared, this is like MLM funnel, like BS, like saying the curse words, the whole thing, blowing Jared up like 2 days ago." So we were like raw and real here and cracking up. So I had we went back and forth in a beautiful conversation, but he is like coming at you 100 miles an hour. So that was yesterday's fun. So final, John, what's going on there?
All right, that was a tough round. I mean, both of our speakers were on fire. Their hearts were on their sleeves by the end. Both of you guys had great passion. So Michelle, phenomenal emotional build, right? Right by that crescendo, that end of that roller coaster, I was ready to put my hands up and go, woo! But in terms of what your message actually was, it could have been focused more on Vivian, right? And there was one concern I had when you said that, your program is going to solve all of her obstacles, because now you're going to border on the line of too good to be true territory. Especially if you don't know what all those obstacles are. The person on the other end of that conversation is going to say, I don't know. I didn't tell you all my obstacles. How are you going to, sell me the solution for everything going on if you don't really know what's going on? But tremendous passion, tremendous connection that you had built. So I'm going to give you a 9 for that one. Now, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now for Garrett, I really loved how you were laser focused when you said, like, what's the one thing, that one pain point, and you built your whole solution around that. And even throughout the process, you referred back to what Vivian said, and you're like, all right, well, you said this, and you kept building and building, and then by the end, you were a rock star in terms of your passion. I thought you knocked it out of the park. I'm giving you a 10 for that one.
Thanks, man.
Excellent job.
You did better than you think.
Yes.
I was impressed.
You
You
just sounded so passionate, Garrett. I mean, it was amazing. Your Zeus was awesome.
He was coming down from Mount Olympus throwing lightning bolts. It was awesome.
Sean, can I ask one question before you offer feedback?
Yeah.
I'm not coming from a place of defense whatsoever. I'm absolutely curious. When Nikki was sharing her feedback about, and then it even kind of dovetailed a little bit into the next, maybe to Uni's. No, actually it was just Nikki, that it was too much about me. I don't really know how this process works. I thought it was absolutely supposed to be all about kind of your unique story, I don't know. Did I just maybe go on too long? I mean, I'd love some feedback on that.
Yeah, no, Michelle. So this is a remarkable group. I would love to talk to all you guys for a long time because I think there's all kinds of great things that we can do. So here's my honest, open feedback. I thought you were tremendous. If I could have shortened it, this is what I might have said, right? It might have sounded something like, hey, so thanks so much, Vivian, for sharing about your vision, your mission, this incredible show you're gonna have. Can I share a little bit about myself? Boom. I started here and I was scared. I was like, who am I? Can I be this person? Can I step into this space? I'm not Oprah, do I belong? And then I had these emotional breakthroughs and I realized that our mission, our job in life is to not only step into our own greatness, but to encourage and support people in stepping into theirs. So what that led me to do is shake those beliefs off. And I've had remarkable, I'm sitting there sometimes like, I can't believe this is my life. The people, I've been on television with these remarkable people. I had this podcast, I've had people like Jack Canfield, Joseph McClendon, and these people now have got really deep, incredible connections with. But most importantly, what I think every day is that I'm not reaching somebody like yourself, Vivian, who could do all of these same things. And how does that land for you? Answer, boom, boom, boom. I've got this program that's been designed to support people like yourself because so many people have all of the same feelings I had, you have, that we're not enough. How can we find the way? And they have these huge dreams that die inside of them because they can't find the way forward. And that's why I created the program I did, something like that. And what do you say? Are you right? And some feedback level. So that's maybe a couple of access points of checking back in with her for where she is, connecting to her. But yes, talking a lot about yourself for sure. And your story is amazing. I think truly, Michelle, if you had 10 minutes, you would have done all those things, right? And you would have done them like mic drop, and I think you did a virtual mic drop and did an incredible job. I don't know if that feedback was helpful.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, awesome. So and Michelle, while we're there, we're gonna wrap it up in just a moment. What would you send people off with? You've done incredible things in the world and people are listening to learn from you. What would you send people off with as your message about helping them get to their dreams?
I would say that I really do believe that regardless of COVID or any of your backstory or circumstances, that you probably know right now exactly what you want to do. And the only thing that gets into any of our ways, at least this is my hallucination, is the bravery that's required to take that first step. And so I fundamentally believe that discomfort is the currency of growth, and growth is where all the fulfillment is. At least this has been my experience. So as I am on a wholehearted, genuine mission to inspire millions to be seen and heard exactly as you are, I just encourage you to be brave, one little bite-sized piece at a time. Take that step of inspired action that's calling you forward. And that courage will be rewarded with more than you can possibly imagine, that has a depth of fulfillment and a resonance on your soul that is beyond your wildest imagination, and the ripple effect that can have for so many others because you stepped into your power. And it all just requires just a little bit of courage in the beginning. That's what I wish for every single one of you watching.
Awesome, Michelle. And thank you for that. Beautiful. How would people find the podcast Accelerator and whatever you'd like them to find you at?
You can catch everything at michelle-sorro.com. No W on my last name, just michelle-sorro.com. And I run that program and many other programs, but that's the next one that's exciting at the end of the month.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for that. Garrett, message from your heart to creating people's breakthroughs in the space that you can help them in.
I think that we're in kind of interesting times right now. And if instead of being victims of our times and saying this is happening to us, if we look at it as something that's happening for us, I think that what's really happening for us right now is we get a chance to take personal responsibility for our financial life so that we can become part of the solution rather than part of the problem. And I think within everyone is a sole purpose. It's our values, our abilities, and our vision. It's the highest context of who we are in this world. And if we can remove money as an obstacle and have it become an asset and an ally, and when we have a vision that's compelling, we attract money and people in order to go out there and accomplish it. So here's the deal. Get your financial house in order, create more cash flow coming in from assets than your expenses so you can swing for the fences in everything you do. And the first place to look is most people are overpaying on tax, interest, non-performing investment fees, and insurance costs. So you don't have to budget or cut back. No one shrinks their way to wealth. It's a game of expansion and service. So value creation is at our core. It's time to live that forevermore.
Rock stars. And how do people find more about you and whatever they can do to learn what you're up to in the world?
YouTube.com/Garrett Gunderson TV is probably the very best place that they could go. I'm putting out 5 videos a week. We're very open and in depth. And I would say that's the best thing to do.
Awesome, brother. And I know it was a unique format, but how was the experience today for you? If somebody said, hey, should I do this or not? What would you share?
I thought I got really good feedback. I got defensive at one moment, which I realized it's because I needed to work on something. And so I see that. It's crazy uncomfortable to do role play that's not real. To me, my feedback is the more real we make this, the better it's going to become. I was watching you have that conversation and get someone to open up that says it's hard for a man to get a woman to open up. And I saw exactly what you were doing, and I thought it was brilliant, and it was fascinating to watch. So I learned from that. Yeah, I like that it's actual people in live time. I just don't like that it's role play. I'd rather it just be real.
All right. I love that feedback. And I think we're going to keep accessing realness, and we have some distinctions on that. So we're a month in, Garrett. I take your feedback, appreciate it enormously, and we will continue to work to make it even more real. Thank you for that.
I told Jared I'd hire you to help me. So if that's what
brother, let's hire each other and let's make stuff happen. So yeah, for real. And we have some ideas on how to do it. So we're working it through, and so far we've had some really unique experiences. Michelle, what say you?
I'm with Garrett. I totally get the value of this. I did not like it really either. I'm grateful I did it because I love being that uncomfortable. I'm with Nikki earlier on her feedback of whenever I'm completely out of my comfort zone and super uncomfortable and have anxiety, which is what I felt both rounds. I know I'm growing and I'm expanding, and that's always an awesome opportunity. But yeah, it's a very strange sort of thing. What would be an opportunity for maybe to get a little more streamlined? I think I would have probably liked to have been a little bit more prepared. Maybe like Garrett too, of just what are we really doing? What is the objective? And I know you guys got a big moving beast and there's a lot of moving parts. And for that, I salute what you're doing. It's incredible. But I thought I was supposed to talk only about myself in those 3 minutes. And again, I'm not trying to be defensive, but I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And then I got so stressed with the time. So I don't really know. You keep doing what you're doing. You're going to continue to roll it out. It's going to refine, right? Action breeds clarity. It's brand new. I still think it's cool, but I'll tell you, some of my predecessors said it's brutal, beware. Right? So I'm just being honest. And so I was scared. And I told Vivian 2 days ago, I'm like, I don't even want to do it. And so the fact that I did do it, I'm so happy that I did do it because I was that freaking uncomfortable. And I was like, I don't have to do it. I do not have to do it. I was like, oh, that right there, you must do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Michelle, so listen, I love it. And the most interesting part, Michelle, is that we're really here to grow. And the entire Unblinded approach is rooted in my athletic background. And I wrestled, played baseball and football in high school for some of the most iconic small public high school coaches around. Like my high school football coach was called a mentor by Bill Parcells. My high school wrestling coach was the winningest wrestling coach in the history of the state of New Jersey. And what they did for us was they helped us see micro distinctions of how to get better in love. I mean, they were in truth, in love, and accelerating open. And what access has been created thus far for people has been to see that, you know, we all have, me included, all of us, opportunities for growth. And this is the last thing, and Garrett, I love your thoughts on maybe this point. If you make $400,000 a year in the United States, you're in the 99th percentile. At 150 is at the 95th. At the 99.9, you make $1.7 million. 99.99, $7.8 million. 99.999, you make $56 million, give or take, right? So why do I share those? I share it because we hear about people being the top 1%. If you're in the top 1%, you're $400,000. At the 0.0001%, you're 56 million. 140x differential after you already became great. So the real raw role play, right, is for people who want to go to the 0.0001. And most of us have no access to that because our friends tell us we're great. Our friends tell us we're wonderful. And all those people came up and hugged me and said at that first event, you did great, you're unbelievable. And you know what? I was a fraction of what I became by the 5th time because Matt Johnston told me the truth. So here's what I would say to everybody in total love. You want to hide and stay where you are, do not come on the real role play. You want to break through and impact the world at the highest level, come here and find your next level access. And I mean that with my heart. So if we're going to pretend and be in our safe basket, awesome. We want to come here and open up for real. And that's why I bet Grant Cardone $250,000 for charity on a neutral set of facts that I will kick his ass on any topic in the world with integrity in front of people. And that's what the space is, because ultimately the people that change the world are people who can dynamically go from hello to yes on subjects of truth. That's my truth. So
I love it. And here's what I would say is one little sort of recap to what you just said.
Yeah.
I was so uncomfortable and grew so much and learned key points for genuine access and key learnings that if you ever would like to invite me again, I would be honored, because every time anyone does this, by the way, it looks easier than it is. It takes an unbelievable amount of courage and openness and willingness to get the feedback. And that's the level that I want to be playing at all times. Something that's super, super honest, real, and raw. So I just, again, want to thank you for the opportunity, because this is it. This is the Olympics. This is it. When you're willing to do it on a Zoom call in front of maybe the world, I mean, that is a level of bravery that I know the universe rewards. And also it's an opportunity for us to learn and help each other and collaborate, which collaboration, in my opinion, is the new currency, which is what you're all about, merging of ecosystems. So I'm honored and I'm grateful, and I wouldn't change a thing about it.
Yeah. And listen, Michelle, and here's what I would change about it. We're going to keep making it better. Like Garrett said, like you said, to make it even more real, but it's never going to become less direct. You know, like it's going to be here for people who are amazing to grow. But like, you know, both of you shared, this is remarkable, all your feedback. And I love, this is what it's about. And there's not one level of defense in this. Yeah. We want to make it more time efficient. We want to give everybody access, the amazing judges and everybody to speak. So we're compressing, consolidating, playing with it. And I would say with humility, I'm really proud of where we've come in a month, and to have folks like yourself on, people been on.
Yes.
So we're trying to make it better. So thank you so much, Garrett, for your candor, and Michelle, really, thank you. So with that said, we're going to call it a wrap for today, and I'll come back together. And Garrett, Michelle, Nikki, John, Uni, Vivian, fantastic job. This is my favorite Real Raw yet, because it got great job, everybody. Thank you.
Love it. Love you, Sean. Thank you, guys. Love you, Viv.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.